Hello, this is Vexx, and welcome back to Tyranny. If you may recall in our last video, we spoke with Belden Mark, who seemed to enjoy the fact that we went out on our own. He tasked us with going to the burning library and putting an end to that edict. At the end of the video, I said that I would start us in the Bastard City. However, on our way there, we got a different sort of random encounter. This is an ambush. Our journey is interrupted by the feral howls of a hunting pack of beastmen. Their leader is an impressive specimen, her mane black as night, and her body scarred from battle. It's different because we just have an option to continue. No choices. So, let's see what's going on. Okay. Oh, this is a named person. Kills in Shadow. Lovely name. Before you towers a massive creature of fur and flesh, her short black snout sniffing in the air.
Know this scent. Stench of blood, sweat, battle, iron and death. Smells like alpha. Smells of strength. But is male.
The beast woman cocks her head to one side, eyes bright with curiosity and red as fresh blood. Those eyes rove your body up and down, darkening with a sudden heat, with the look that a predator bestows its prey. If you remember from the beastmen that we encountered in the Scarlet Chorus camp, the women lead the beastmen tribes. They are the alphas. And she says we smell like an alpha. So she knows that we're strong.
Have been stalking human centrail. Have ranged many more than 5 nights through tribe and human territories of Tyr's land, hunting for human called Fatebinder. For human who woke horizon rock called Mountain Spire.
Well, that's definitely us.
Have hunted hot high, cold low, wet dry. Traipsed far until paws bled, but always human who smelled of alpha evaded beast woman. Had to slink through shadows, fast, quick, without rest to catch delicious prey at last.
She tongues her blade sharp, discolored fangs and exhales a pleased growl. Oh, she wants to fight us. I got a couple of choices as usual. I could say, hey, I'm not looking for combat, I merely want to continue on my way. Or, introduce yourself properly before I lose patience. Amusing, but I have no time for beasts or their foolish jests. We can say, use our lore to go your markings. Must be from the Shadowhunter tribe. Or we could just slap her. I'm gonna use our lore and see. Comment on our markings.
Fatebinder knows tribes of beast women. Curious human. Male who smells of alpha and knows of Shadowhunter tribe. Best tribe. Lost tribe of kills in shadow.
Her eyes pin you with lust. The look of a wolf that's found a hare. Notice that gains some loyalty with her. Okay, now I'm gonna ask her to introduce herself.
Can Fatebinder not see? Beast woman, best hunter, kills in shadow, daughter of mystic brood mother, relict, alpha to pack of stone whelps.
She huffs and sits on her haunches, narrowed eyes both curious and cross. Interesting. She's the daughter of a mystic and an alpha. Mystics are, well, as you can probably imagine, the mages. Now we got a few choices per usual. You can ask her to explain herself. What does she want? Again, we're not looking for a fight. Just say how amusing this is, or we can slap her. I'm curious what she wants.
Humans.
She hacks. The beast woman's nostrils flare wide and her eyes brighten with amusement.
No human called Fatebinder. Kairos breeds words on paper. Fatebinder binds words to earth and sky, makes ground tremble, makes night cry, blood and fire.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. She's talking about the edicts, obviously. We could say, what would a beast woman know of Tunon's Fatebinders? Could say nothing and just glare, or we could say, I merely read Kairos' edicts. I am but a vassal for the Overlord's great magic. Based off what we've seen of the Beastmen tribes, I don't think the third option will come off very well. It makes us sound like we're just a puppet. I'm going to say nothing.
Fatebinder pisses in Kairos' eye, but is not slain. Stole horizon rock called Spire, spat at Archons, yet lives. Fatebinder is strong, smells of mystic iron death, is vaster tougher than rest of Kairos' kith.
Oh, she seems to like us. We can say, and what's your point, Beast Woman? We could just shrug. We could say, okay, so maybe you've heard of me. Or again, we can ask what she knows of the Fatebinders, or again, make us sound like a puppet. I'm gonna go, okay, so maybe you heard of me.
Kairos hunts human realms to extinction. Rules tribe of blood and ruin, starvation and death. Seeks to slaughter beast women like prey. But beast women are not prey. Are not flighty, feeble-minded humans.
Kills in shadows, spits a gob of tawny mucus on the ground.
Beast women are savage hunters. Bred to fight Kirut, like Fatebinder who smells of alpha. Strong always kill weak, then grow weak. Not killed is migration of life. But kills in shadow is not weak now. Will not be weak for many long seasons. Will join Fatebinder and survive Kairos' tribe.
She wants to join with us. And we could say, if you want to join me, it'll have to be as my beta. You side with the enemy to survive, or we can attack her. If you want to survive Kairos, you'll need to survive me first. Or we could just say, not my problem, scram. I'm gonna goad her a little bit. I'd say that she'll have to serve as our beta.
Kills in shadow is not beta. But even alpha submit to stronger-willed primas. Many packs make a tribe. Is this not a thought humans also understand? Beast Woman will follow Fatebinder. Will not dominate.
Oh. So she's still going to consider herself an alpha, but we are what's called a prima. The leader of a beast tribe, a supremacy almost always held by a female. The rank is won and defended through vicious bloodshed and fights for dominance rather than birthright. Many alphas may exist within a single tribe, but only one can rise above the others as prima. So, prima alpha.
Unless Fatebinder begins to smell weak.
She tongues one of her upper fangs. Lips split in a feral grin. Oh, we can accept her, but tell her to keep her nose to herself. Say, no, I won't risk you turning on me. I want some assurances first. Ooh, I wonder what that's going to be like. Or we could just attack her. I want some assurances. Clawed fingers etch the length of a furrowed scar on Kills and Shadow's cheek, her eyes red as flesh blood. Oh, fresh blood, regarding you with a direct interest. Okay, we could say, you will do as I say. You will swear loyalty to me. You will give up any brood, pack, or tribe of your own. You'll provide me an insight on matters regarding your kith, her kind, essentially. Or, you will not threaten me and attack. I'm gonna order her to swear loyalty to us. Her nostrils flare wide as she sucks in a deep breath. Her eyes flick to one side before setting back on your face.
Swear won't kill Fatebinder while Fatebinder sleep.
She just juts her chin and peels her lips back to reveal glistening fangs, clearly pleased with herself. Okay. That's not much help, but I'm gonna welcome her. The beast woman huffs and turns to address her pack.
Kills in Shadow will not shelter stone whelps anymore. Scamper and flee! Do not want to see shadows lurking, stalking behind. Barb cleft his leader now.
The pack hesitates, causing Kills in Shadow to emit a low, menacing growl.
Will not like if Kills in Shadow catches sight or scent of stone mongrels again.
Okay, and we can choose to change our party or not. I'm gonna keep this party because I kind of like this one right now. Kills and Shadows will go like Ebb to our Spire, so I'm just gonna accept this party. And the old pack of Kills and Shadow leaves. Okay, I will. Oh, there's something here I didn't notice at first. A few trash loot items. Might as well pick them up and sell them. Alright, I will catch you guys back at the Bastard City. And welcome to the Bastard City. We're not going to be here for too long, I think. Just a few... No, oh, that first one's actually named. We'll talk to them on our way back. Oh, there seems to be something going on up here. If you'll allow me to explain myself, Your Honor. Oh. I guess that's Tunon up there.
Fatebinder, your return to court is later than I expected. Were it not for Bled and Mark offering to vouch for your actions, I would have stripped you of title and the protections of Kairos.
Tunon, Archon of Justice, regards you from over his pauldron. Okay, we can apologize for the delay. Or, I'm here now, let's get this over with. Or we could just say nothing. I'm going to be nice and apologize for the delay.
Accepted. Don't make a habit of truancy in the future. It's unbecoming for an officer of the court.
Yeah, that gained us some favor. Oh, we are exactly 3/4 of the way towards both wrath and favor with Tunon.
Let us speak of Ascension Hall. We have all manner of discordant and conflicting stories to piece together. In your own words, tell the court what transpired.
Oh, we can tell our side of the story, what happened at Ascension Hall. As I'm sure both the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, which you can kind of see on either side of us here, have told very different stories from each other, and no doubt going to be rather different than ours and paint us in a very unflattering light. We can say, I took the Citadel and satisfied Kairos' command. To this ends are my means not justified. Or, the conflict of the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus displeased me greatly. I ended the siege as I saw fit. Or finally, I am a loyal agent to Kairos. Those who slander me seek only to sow discord. I'm not gonna use the third option, which I forgot to mention, is us lying. Because, well, we are still kind of a servant of Kairos. We've just decided not to side with either the Disfavored or the Scarlet Chorus. I'm going to go with the second option and say that their conduct displeased us. Although that does sound a little more willful than I'd like.
Even if that meant alienating your former allies, driving a rift between the court and the military, and potentially upending what we've spent 3 years building together. I wish I shared your confidence, Fatebinder.
Ooh, maybe that wasn't the best thing to say to Tunon. Oh well.
The court will ponder the testimonies we've received and judge the matter in its proper course. For the time being, you will continue to travel on your own accord and dispense justice to both sides of this civil war. If your presence is required here in court, we will find you. You are dismissed.
Okay, and both the chorus and the disfavored go off. Who are these three here? Oh, they're other Fatebinders. Huh. Wonder what would happen if we actually go talk with the disfavored or the chorus. I'm gonna go out on a probably pretty strong limb and say they're gonna say bugger off. Now, if you recall, Barrick did want us to speak with Tunon about an issue. Oh, Fatebinder Fura is interrupting us as we're trying to talk to Tunon. The circumstances were, well, it was madness, Your Honor. No one could be expected to act in a rational way. No, perhaps I expected too much of my servants. Is that it? No, Your Honor, but if you hear my testimony, I think you will understand. I see a better alternative has presented itself, Fatebinder. Oh, Fatebinder, sorry. Will you audience this case in my stead? I'm curious what manner of conclusions you draw. Ah, interesting. We can play judge over a fellow Fatebinder. Let's hear the case. Excellent. Let the testimony begin. I'm afraid it's a sensitive matter. I was away from the city, seeing to a military camp, when I discovered 2 Scarlet Chorus soldiers. She clears her throat and holds her posture firm. Defiling a woman. Oh, that's not pleasant. A local from the tiers. Yes, and I understand that it's a common enough occurrence in the army, but I couldn't stand for it. I was brought up to know better. She looks up at Tunon. I was taught to be better. We can say horrible, or we can ask what happened next. I'm kind of curious what this Fura did. I fought the recruits. They fought back. But in the end, my skills won out. After they were both dead, I let the poor woman go. Their gang boss witnessed everything. Though he didn't interfere until it was all done. I was trussed up and brought back to the court in a wagon, where you find me now. Oh, Chucklebones. And what fine company you made on the journey over. The gang boss spreads his lip in a toothy grin. The defendant is charged with the murder of subjects who were owed the protection of Kairos' law. Fatebinder, I presume you want to cross-examine. Oh, we could ask Tunon directly, why isn't this victim of assault a matter of concern? Or we can ask, the gang boss didn't interfere at all? Did you speak with the Tears woman, or do you regret your actions? Finally, I am ready to give my ruling. We only know what happened. So I'm going to ask Tunon, why isn't the victim of the assault a matter of concern? She was a denizen of the Tears. She has no rights under Kairos' law. This is a simple murder trial, and the defendant stands before you. I would caution against burdening yourself with extraneous variables. Okay, so we're not dealing with the gang rape of a helpless woman. Lovely. So, let's ask, the gang boss did not interfere at all. If my recruits couldn't defend themselves against a glorified clerk, then their lives were forfeit as far as I'm concerned. Good riddance. I'm still happy to get satisfaction out of the matter. The law is the law. All he did was joke about how the court would be merciless, laughed all the way to the bastard city. Didn't seem particularly bent out of shape over his lost men. That sounds about right. Oh, they are just as cold as, well, we've heard and experienced. Scarlet Chorus, that is. Let's ask if either of them spoke with the Tears woman. Only briefly. She thanked me before fleeing. I didn't want to keep her. She'd suffered through enough at the hands of those soldiers. Use her subterfuge here to say you don't think she said anything about wishing to join the army? Or we could say, understand, back to my questions. I'm going to use her subterfuge here. She glances at you with a frank curiosity. The army, not that she glances forward. We could guide the witness, and she definitely wasn't in the area for that very purpose. Or we could say, never mind, if we could return the testimony. I'm going to try and guide the witness. Her eyes widen as she realizes your intent. The Fatebinder nods. That's right. She only mentioned it in passing, but she told me she was attempting to make contact with the Scarlet Chorus. To join them. That was when the soldiers attacked. I hope that has a point, Fatebinder. It does, if you kind of see in the train of logic there. Let's ask if this Fura, at least I'm guessing it's a she, regrets their actions. She frowns in thought. Yeah, she. No, if our positions were reversed, I would have wanted someone to help on my behalf. Karis's law be damned. She glances up at Tunon with momentary unease. Suppose I should keep my distance from the Scarlet Chorus in the future. I might not be able to restrain myself if I saw it happening again. Okay, I'm actually ready to make my ruling. Very good. Present the verdict, and let us be done with this unpleasant affair. Okay. We got 3 choices. If the woman intended to join the Scarlet Chorus, she was protected under Karis's law. Your actions were just. The second, this is a clear-cut murder of protected allies. Guilty. Fights can get out of hand all the time. The Fatebinder's intent was pure. She's innocent. Now, we did guide her towards this option, but I'm going to just rub salt in the wounds of the Scarlet Chorus because I don't like them. Oh, we gained wrath for that. She delivers a bow of gratitude, holding your eye contact the entire time. Thank you for hearing my case. Fatebinder Fura, you have ducked Karis's punishment with a technicality. Be more mindful of your delicate position in the future. We're even closer to Wrath 1 with Tunon now. Your grasp of Karis's law troubles me. It reeks of independent thoughts, honed beyond the principled walls of my court. And yet it is your ruling. Dismissed. Yeah, that was using a technicality, definitely. Let's see if we can talk to Tunon again. Or at all this time. You return. It is gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know? Got a whole bunch of options, including the first option here. I have a request from Beric of the Stone Shields, which I am going to go with right away. And what does Beric the Stone Shields want of the court? He has made his displeasure known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tears upon each other. The adjudicator glares down at Beric. Okay, we can say the request or nothing. I'm not going to read the nothing because I'm not going to choose it. I'm going to choose, he came to inquire if the forge-bound could help remove his armor. If he has become encased in iron, that is none of the court's concern. My forge-bound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army. I would not have their focuses diverted to liberate one soldier from his raiment. Stone Shield. Do the disfavored not have standards for the upkeep of arms and armor? Is that not one of your Archon's guiding principles? It is, Your Honor, but I found myself trapped in this junk pile after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you want to blame anyone, it should be Kairos. Ooh, careful, Barrick. The Adjudicator contemplates the matter in total silence. The moment drags on far longer than you would suspect it warrants, but Tunon's interest does not abate for a moment. The soldier will remain encased in his armor, eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kairos are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic, the likes of which none of us understand, has touched the stone shield, and we will not interfere with the will of Kairos. But I'm trapped. Barrett trails off, looking to you for answers. Now, we could say nothing, or we could ask if Tunon might reconsider. I have a feeling that's going to get a little more wrath from Tunon, but I kind of want to help Barrick. Oh, we did gain more wrath and loyalty from Barrick, though. I'm surprised and disappointed that you would even ask. Whether you are trying to prove to your travel companion, whatever you are trying to prove to your travel companion, the court finds it festering with sympathy and lack of precedence. Such is the will of Kairos, and the will of the court. Tunon nods and bangs his gavel. You tried. I suppose the court, that counts for something. The Adjudicator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying that has ever made it better. And we could still ask Tunon a few things. I'm curious what he has to say about Kairos. Oh, we don't have the reputation that with Tunon to ask this. I'm in a privileged position to know Kairos better than the other Archons, but I do not treat the knowledge lightly. When I trust that your interests will aid in the execution of law, I will speak of this, but not before. Let's see what he'll tell us about Belden Mark. He is my headsman and an assassin without equal. His official designation in Kairos' hierarchy is the Archon of Shadows, though I wonder that he even considers himself aught but a slayer of the unjust. Did he earn his title? His work away from the court takes Belden Mark to the darkest places in the world, the Tiers and Northern Empire alike. Over time, Shadows became his domain. They cloak him, protect him, and even fight for him if the need arises. It is said that Belden Mark can travel to any place where shadows are cast. Only he would know this for certain. I wonder, does he work alone or serve you alone? Your question is flawed. We are all servants of Kairos. The Archons are also agents of their own interests. Those chosen few empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kairos' peace. At present, Belden Mark is my vassal, and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Cairn, the fallen Archon, or the voices of Marat and his songbird, Siren. Such partnerships and apprenticeships are common. They provide mutual benefit to the Archons involved, as well as a measure of oversight. Back to my other questions. I'm curious about you, Tunon. Curiosity is a trait that I encourage in my servants. Too often have I witnessed such activity leading down a path to lawlessness. However, if you feel that a better understanding of me will inform your work, then I will allow it. What would you know? How is it that you... Tell me about your rise to the rank of Adjudicator. Curb your ambitions, student. My path to this desk is not one that can be replicated under any circumstance. However, if your curiosity is determined, I will tell you my story. We could say, "Forgive me, Your Honor, I only wish to know my master better. If your story could teach me if your story could teach me nothing of power, then I am not interested. We could use our lore. I wish to understand law and your execution of it. Or finally, my sage friend would add it to his chronicle so others might learn it." I have a feeling if we go with 4, he's going to say, "No, I don't want that." I'm going to use our lore option here, which we gain some favor with Tunon for. An admirable suit. You know much of Kairos' law and the maintenance of order already. My history may tell you something of if of how it can be used to win wars. I came into the world centuries ago, before the dream of a unified northern nation empire was fully realized. My home country lay far from the borders of Kairos' realm, and our conquest was a matter of distant speculation. Decades before rumors of Kairos' approach grew in panicked volume, I familiarized myself with the intricacies of law. It took me no time at all to realize the benefits of our inevitable subjugation. I took it upon myself to rise in my country's government to an arbiter of law and drafter of covenants, building some notoriety for my execution of fair justice. As my influence and the trust of my people evolved, my decisions transcended to define future precedents. Go on. What my countrymen could not have surmised was that I had woven into our customs the very backbone of Kairos' law. I set the stage for the conquest of our floundering nation to join the Overlord's empire. By the time Kairos' armies presented themselves on and offered terms of surrender, we adopted Kairos' peace in all but name. Our absorption into the Northern Empire was a matter of legal formality. Negligible changes to our already beloved document of law. The people credited me as their architect of peace, and for a time called me Tunon the Fair. As my importance grew in their estimates, Kairos could not help but learn of the part I played in her bloodless victory. Oh, Kairos is her, maybe. Kairos' law has a breadth of intricacies that is unappreciated to the masses. I was chosen to interpret and represent the Overlord's will across the Northern Empire and beyond. This time as adjudicator is my pride, my duty, and my life. What does it mean to be an Archon? I am a figure of power and significance, and under Kairos' mandate, I am able to exercise my authority for the benefit of all. Had I not earned the Overlord's approval, I would not stand tall before you. Did you come into power yourself, or did Kairos foster your talents? An astute question. Doubtless I exhibited some spark of potential on my own, insignificant though enough to accomplish deeds of note. Only under Kairos' tutelage have I grown to these heights. Could anyone become an Archon? Absolutely not. Only a precious few grow into this authority. Were it otherwise, Tartarus would descend into pandemonium. Of those few who rise into power, fewer still have the self-control to maintain lawful use of their talents, and of those fewer still who are deemed worthy of Kairos' approval. Is every Archon subservient to Kairos? All are subservient before Kairos, but I intuit your meaning. The Overlord takes great pains to recognize potential. Before an Archon comes into their power, they will have faced the harshest scrutiny by an agent of recruitment, if not by Belden Merrick himself. There are Those who are found to be worthy of incredible deeds, but refuse to join the strength to the needs of the Empire, are doomed to die. Those who wish to make a name for themselves are invited into the fold to serve and rule the needs of the Empire. That is the price of power in Kairos' hierarchy. Let's go back to my other questions. What's the deal with your mask? We gain wrath for that. Oh, that should be obvious to you by now, students. Since the answer is relevant to your duties, I will tolerate your ignorance and explain. This face is an uncontrollable warrant of muscle spasms, or the face, and reactionary contortions, sickening in its display of every petty bias. It cannot be trusted to audience or judge a dispute without narrowing or a gauntlet of subjectivity for all to witness. Go on. In my early days, before the Northern Empire spread to my lands, I fashioned the mask of listening out of stern, uncaring wood. The expression of enduring patience hearkens the testimony of my petitioners, thinking in all evidence, taking in all evidence before weighing matters in their due course. Later in my career, Kairos herself gifted me the Mask of Resolve. You will find it almost identical to the Mask of Listening, save for the brow furrowed in contemplation and weighed down by the burden of judgment. This is the face that disperses law, often the most exacting and unforgiving sport. I wore it when I brought Kairos' devastating judgment to the bastard city, and I doubtless will wear it again. Now we can use our lore. Does the Mask of Resolve grant you the power of judgment? I gain favor for that one. An astute question. Kairos would certainly be within her authority to grant me the function to do extraordinary deeds. But no, the mask is a symbol. Justice itself grants me power, and no objective ruling in its own consent to enact incredible wonders, such as my right as the Archon of Law. When I recognize a jurisprudent need, there is nothing I cannot do. I already said it. What do you look... Oh, I don't think he's gonna like this, but what do you look like under the masks? Tunon hovers in silence, staring down at you. Your Honor? Got more wrath for that one. Tunon, the shadows wreathing Tunon's feet wrap like waves in a storm, ebbing and flowing in your direction. An unmistakable air of danger fills the room. Yeah, I'm going to go back to my other questions. I think that would be best. Yeah, that's not a good line of questioning there. Did you come up with the Office of Fatebinders? Indirectly, yes. Just as I am representative of Kairos' law across Tartarus, you are the faces of my judgment for the people. I took inspiration from the Overlord's example, as we all should. The people need an approachable face to settle their grievances, and I am not available to adjudicate on every corpor's dispute. The Fatebinders were an invaluable solution. I'm kind of curious about this one. Why is curiosity such a problem? Because my vassals are not selected for their indulgence of thought. You are an agent of law, the execution of which falls within strict confines. Your intellect may aid the tasks ahead of you, but your unwavering obedience is of greater value to me. You can say, I understand. You want a mindless drone? You flatter me, Archon, or fine. Three. Don't you want me to interpret Kairos' law to fit any circumstance using our lore? I'm kind of curious what he'll say with this one. Gain favor with that. Naturally. But take care not to let your intellect veer you from the straightforward path. I have seen it happen. and lost more than one people who thought themselves above their station, convinced that they knew better. What happened to these pupils? Anyone who oversteps their bounds is given the opportunity to amend their ways. Those who fail to heed my warnings show contempt for Kairos' peace and are treated accordingly. The purpose of law is to set the standard for others. Though I am generous with the freedom I offer to Fatebinders, you are still inextricably tied to Kairos' law. Straining that tether to a breaking point will reflect poorly upon you. In other words, we're dead if we do. We could actually ask him about matters of law. Then you are well suited for my court for my court is the legal heart of this corrupt and uncivilized realm. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things here. What matters draw your curiosity? You are well versed in Kairos' law, but I am happy to discuss the particulars. I can ask about Kairos' peace directly. Remind me how the Overlord's name may be used. Let me discuss the old walls. I'm kind of curious about that one. I'm probably not going to go over all these. This video is already going a little long. The old walls are forbidden as are their contents and their denizens. Owning any item from the old walls is considered trespass, regardless of how it came into your possession. Mind that in the case of your travels. As the old walls extend across much of the Tiers and Northern Empire alike, Kairos permits her servants to pass only when she sculpted the landscape to permit traverse. Under no circumstances are you to enter a breach in the old walls, even for a task as innocent as crossing to the other side. If these restrictions seem too severe, I would remind you that they are for the protection of Kairos' subjects. The Overlord has no desire to see harm needlessly inflicted upon her loyal followers. What's Magician's Folly? I don't recognize that name. Practitioners of the arcane arts must be sanctioned by one of Kairos' guilds, such as the Blood Chanters or the Forge Bound. Rogue magicians with a tenuous scrap of unknown powers will not be tolerated. A sanctioned mage whose spell casting causes damage to life or property is lawfully deemed innocent, as long as they practice their art in the service of Kairos. All is forgiven. Ooh, that's a little bit dangerous. I think we can ask about quotas. Restrictions on forbidden knowledge. What's forbidden knowledge? Kairos herself sets the standards of what can and cannot be known. These restrictions are rarely enforced, but they are worth taking into account. During the war, for example, Kairos deemed the knowledge of the Velium Citadel taboo. No one may possess the wisdom of that fallen repository, save Kairos herself. Calling it taboo seems a bit like overkill, but to play Kairos' advocate, the world would hardly be safer if all had access to the lore of making poisons or the art of arming brigands in fine bronze. This is for the protection of her subjects. Before the coming of Kairos, during the ages of anarchy and discord, powerful knowledge in undeserving hands leveled empires without thought or mercy. Kairos has no desire to revisit those dark times. Alright, as I said, there's not much. 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's quite probably a few things under them, especially about the peace. So I'm not going to go further with those. Then be on your way. Okay. Quest updated. So we can speak with Barrick about the armor. Oh, we got a Barrick loyalty. Let's actually check that out. Oh yeah, our loyalty with Barrack went over to level 3. Notice Kills and Shadows is one of our companions too. I wish I could have got her up there so we could learn that skill. Okay. At this point, I am going to end the video here before we go continue talking to people in the Bastard City, as I know for a fact you can actually speak with these 3 Fatebinders here. Fatebinder Kallio, Newall, and Ragolis. And, well, as it said, in there we need to speak with Barrack again about his predicament. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys have a great day.